You know what? Going on to Arsenal, I know that some of the Arsenal fans want us to give them their credit. Bro, there's one main player that I need to actually hold my lip for, bro, and I have to take accountability. You see Bukayo Saka Rants? I have to just give it to him now. Big stage done at the grandest stage of them all. Because you know my question's always been with him, yeah? When he's at the Emirates, I call it his natural habitat. Bro, he always performed. Any team at the Emirates, Bukayo, he's crashing it on you. But my thing with Bukayo was, and I was trying to say this to Arsenal fans, but they wouldn't hear it. But when I brought out like the facts, they kind of went mute. Him away in Europe, I remember Allianz last season. I remember Sporting in Europa League. I'm even back there into Europa League, Olympiacos. A lot of his European away games, whether it's Champions League or Europa League, I was like, you know, if you lot are calling him X, Y, Z, he needs to do it away from him. I always rate a player doing it more in a more uncomfortable setting. It's easy to do it at home in front of your crowd and that. They're going to get behind you. But yesterday, he told me to shut up because I said, if he performs at the Bernabeu, there's nothing more I have to say. He does it in the league. He does it home and away in the league. It's just European. I think Rio Ferdinand come out and said yesterday as well, because Arsenal fans were putting up his old quote saying Bukayo's not Saka's not world class just yet. I need to see him do it away from home in Europe. Bro, forget the finisher, because the finish was cold. The composure to that. It's his all-round performance. How many times have me and you said, bro, forget GNA? What are you doing from start to finish?
I'll be real. I didn't see nothing in his performance yesterday that's changed my mind on him at all. And he missed the penalty, bro. Nah, he bottled the pen as well. He bottled it. Like, bro, he's never done a Panenka in his life, and he chooses to do it on that stage, bro. Like, he had an identity crisis on the penalty spot, bro. That's not to me. Yeah, that's not a big game player like that, bro. I'll be honest. Like, it was a good finish, but
this is what I'm going to say to you, bro. This is what I was going to say to you. Right, the penalty was foolish. Doing that first 10 minutes, that was foolish, but don't you rate him for rectifying it with that finish, bro? Because
it was a great finish. Do you know what I'm saying? But in that instance, that's the only finish that was on. Like, you've played football. The only finish you can do is lift it over the keeper. It was the only one, and he executed it very well. But he tried it on the penalty spot and he missed, innit? Like, it's one of them ones. I've never seen anyone to do a Panenka in the corner. Like, it's like you go down the middle, bro.
It's always down the middle.
You know them ones he was having all sorts of weird conversations with himself on that penalty spot. I even said it when I was watching the penalty. I was like, yo, that's not his normal run up. And bro, like, I've seen him taking off penalties. His run up wasn't right. Everything, he was all over the gaff, bro.
You know what is right?
You know what I mean? He made a mess in his nappy yesterday, bro. And it's one of them ones where he got the opportunity to rectify it. But if he doesn't score that goal, everyone's saying, yo, Saka bottled another big penalty. That's what they're saying, because he bottled the Euro pen and he missed the pen in the title run last season as well, bro.
Yeah, and even in a West Ham game, I think he put it wide. But the thing is,
you're playing against an 80-year-old Alaba, bro. Like, I'll be real. For me, like, all that it showed me yesterday was that Alaba is finished. That's it. That's what it showed me. That's what I learned, because Saka didn't have to work hard to go past him.
I was gonna come on to that point though, like, for him, because he obviously got Alaba booked within the first the minute the referee the whistle, I think the first minute or two. But my thing with Saka and that, every time, the thing is, I've been his biggest critic. I've always said, cool, and I know you're similar to me. GA is never enough for me. I need to see what you're doing for the main, not even the whole 90 minutes, at least 60 to 70 minutes of the game, right? But I think whenever the ball got to him, I think Real Madrid were worried. I didn't really see any other Arsenal player where Real Madrid were kind of Arsenal. Let's be honest,
I think Real Madrid were worried because Alaba was there, though. Do you know what I'm saying? If they had their proper left backs there, they're not worried the same way.
Bro, you say that, but then Ferland Mendy, cool, he's more youthful. But I still think Saka probably puts in similar performance, even if it was Ferland.
I think if you got pace up against Saka, it's a different game, innit? Like Alaba, bro, brothers, centre back, playing at left back, and he's old.
I used to think the same thing, bro. But I've clocked, and this is where I have to actually give him his credit. Saka's very intelligent, because you're right. Pace against pace. If you see a lot of Saka's goals where he cuts in and whatnot, it's against your Andy Robertson's, putting him that plays.
He plays different against the players he knows he can bully. He's a smart player, innit? He's a smart player. He does switch up his game.
He'll play that 1-2, and he's around you. He might not beat you with his dribbling ability, but he'll play that 1-2. That's where I got to credit him. That's why I think even with a Ferland Mendy, you're right. He's probably not beating him like in a 1v1, like if he's actually taking on 1v1 dribble. But I think he's probably doing the give and go to either Rice or Odegaard. He's in behind and he's 1-on-1 with Courtois. Do you get it? But
he's got Mendes next year. if he bodies Mendes over 2 legs, we can revisit this conversation because I
Yeah.
seen Sancho do it. So
Yeah.
so it's one of them ones. If he
Yeah.
bodies Mendes, yeah, over the 2 legs, then I'll hold my hands up and say,
Yeah.
boom,
You know,
cool,
that's
yeah.
gonna be the litmus test. You're right.
Yeah.
Because
If he bodies him, like actually bodies him, then I'll be like, all right, cool. All right, let's talk in it. You know them
mm,
ones because Mendes, even though he's not the best defensively, he's still one of the best fullbacks in the world on paper, in it. So if you're doing it to one of the best fullbacks, then you got to hold your hands up.
bro,
Do
could
you know
you
what I
say
mean?
he's
And say
probably the
fair enough.
best? The best
I
left
think
back
he's one of the
right now.
best.
One
He
of,
has
so
to be
fair
one
enough.
of them. He has to be one of them. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he's the best because I'm not going to pretend that I watch every left back in the world, but he's
Well,
one of
yeah,
the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
He's
Nah, I
one of
hear
the
that.
best.
Bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about cooked, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, oh yeah, like he got past him once because everyone gets past players, isn't it? Like what he
Brilliant,
was doing
yeah.
to Alaba, yeah, was bullying, bro. Because Alaba's an old man, bro. He didn't want to be there. You see, he didn't want to be there, bro.
Bro.
Like, do you know what I mean? You know what the mad thing is, yeah? Like Arsenal, yeah, they played all right yesterday. But bro,
Mm,
Real Madrid were shit, bruv. Like legit. Like for the
mm.
level that you expect Real Madrid to be at, they were rubbish, bro. We have to be honest. They're
Facts.
rubbish, bro. And last season, was it last season where Dortmund absolutely destroyed them and they scumbagged it? Like, bro, man, I've been watching Real Madrid, yeah, scumbag results in the Champions League probably for the last 3 seasons,
I'm
bro.
just about to say that it's not just this season, bro.
It's not
Bro,
just this season.
even when they three-peated under Zidane, yeah. So I remember when they done it with Carlo. I think Ronaldo's first Champions League for them. They were cold that year. That's when I think Bale and Neymar had their first seasons in La Liga. That Madrid team were actually cold. I think you had Khedira, I think Modric first coming to the side, but that team was cold. But when they three-peated under Zidane, I even said then, I didn't watch that Real Madrid team and think, wow, I just saw individual ability. I was seeing Bale, I was seeing Ronaldo. Modric was in the peak of his career. But I feel like Madrid, especially in my lifetime, Madrid have never been like scintillating when they've won a Champions League, bro. They just have that know-how, bro. They
Right.
generally just have that know-how. But then obviously you speak to Gunn and Gunn even says they've never really had like that
Yeah, they
certain
haven't.
stuff. They just have
They
that
haven't.
know-how,
They
do
just
you know what I
win.
mean?
Yeah.
To win. But I just think, like you said at the start of the stream, bro, finally the performance caught up with the result. Because you're right. I don't think Arsenal were amazing, but they didn't have to be.
He
It's one of
didn't
them.
have
If
they
you don't
didn't
have
have
to
to
be,
be,
if
bro.
you don't have to be amazing, there's no point exerting all that energy. Because I think Arsenal were very conservative for the most parts of that game and just broke
Mm,
on them when they had to. And I was saying
yeah.
to my brethren that I was watching the game with, yeah. I didn't think he would score in it because Martinelli's finishing the best part of the last 18 months has been a bit mad. Big
Yeah.
up Ibrahim. The
But he
last
had so
18
much
months has been
time
like,
though, bro, with that
word,
finish. Like,
what?
bro, so much time. You give Martinelli that much time, yeah. Like, even he's gonna score that. Do you know what I
Facts.
mean?
And
Like,
you know
even
what,
him.
bro? I said to my brethren, he's gonna get a one-on-one in this game. I don't know when, but the way I saw the game transpiring, bro, I was like, Real Madrid are going for this. They weren't even leaving their high line on the halfway line, Rants. Their high line was inside the opposition's half. So not only, and you saw it for the goal, not only that then they're playing a high line, they're playing like a high line in kind of somewhat the final third, bro. So Martinelli just has to start his run from inside his own half and he's in. And it
Yeah.
happened literally in the last minute. I said, bro, Mane's going to get a one-on-one. Whether he finishes it, I don't know. But that finish, he couldn't have missed that, bro. Like you said, he got too much time. But me and you have both kicked ball. Sometimes when you have too much time, which has been
Yeah.
his story in the last 18 months, you can bottle it. Do you know what I mean? But
100%.
it was a cold finish. But, bro, Arsenal didn't have to be great. But at the same time, I have to give them credit because, bro, if I don't think a result's going to happen and I'm proven wrong, I have to hold my hands up. I thought my prediction for that game, Rants, was 3-1 Madrid. I thought Madrid would win comfortably, but Arsenal would
Okay,
still
but
go
Arsenal will
through.
go through. Nah,
Yeah,
I said that Arsenal could win the game because
bro.
like
Yeah.
because Real Madrid just ain't got no firepower, bro. Like, and I knew that Arsenal weren't gonna be naive and leave gaps like Barca did
Mm,
against Dortmund, like PSG did against Villa. Arsenal were never gonna leave those gaps. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like Arsenal weren't going there to make friends, bro. They were going there to get the result. So I knew that they weren't gonna leave gaps. And Mbappe without spacing behind is nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Vinny ain't gonna do nothing without the space. And Bellingham loves them third
mm.
man runs, box crashing, but he needs space to run into as well. There was
Basically, yeah,
nothing to run
yeah,
into. There was
yeah.
nothing to run into. Arsenal just completely set up in that mid block. Sometimes it was a low block, and then they just broke on them, bro. Like, and that was the game plan. you could see it very clearly that when Arsenal had the ball, they weren't forcing passes. They weren't in a rush to get the ball forward. There's no need. You're 3-0 up. Do you know what I mean? They played the game perfectly. And one thing I got to say is they've mastered that style of play. They've mastered the ability to go there, make games boring, and just pick teams off.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like they've mastered that. So you can't allow them to be playing the game at their own pace. That's the one thing you can't allow Arsenal to do. Because if they do that, they'll find a way, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like the funny thing is, yeah, they outplayed Real Madrid probably over 2 legs, and the difference were the 2 free kicks, bro. Because if Rice don't score those free kicks, I reckon Real Madrid probably end up going through.
You're free, yeah.
Just because of how much Real Madrid we've watched, bro. We've watched Liverpool batter them and lose. We've watched City batter them and lose.
Yeah.
We've watched Chelsea batter them and lose. We've watched Dortmund batter them and lose. Like we've watched so many teams batter Real Madrid and still come out on the losing side and not know how, bro. Now we've seen it, bro. We've seen it many, many times, bro. So it's one of them things where I think who else was it? I think I watched it. I swear they played Leipzig one year as well, and Leipzig were cooking them, and they beat them as well, bro. Like I've seen bare teams put it on Real Madrid.
I think PSG as well.
And
Even
lose.
PSG, bro.
Come on,
Couple
bro.
years ago, bro.